Well, the soccer season has come to a conclusion, but we still have one more week of Sidekicks because we want to recognize the best in Northwest Ohio high school soccer this season, as we are joined once again by Danny Fisher, Executive Director of Pace Center, and Chris Black. And gentlemen, we're going to talk about the best of the best, beginning on the girls' side and the best player in Northwest Ohio girls soccer. Before we get to the actual winners, there are no winners, there are no losers. Who are some of the best players? And then we'll get to who, in your opinions, were the best.
Well, you see all season long things change, but obviously towards the postseason things get a little bit more dicey. It's more important to be the best at that moment. We saw it towards the end of the year. Grace Tursk, I think, one of the most dominant on the scoring byline. We saw what she did against Notre Dame their last game of the year to win the track with those 2 goals. Obviously, a big one there. Emily Gardner, who's defensive, kind of running that Anthony Wayne team pretty much the whole year from that center back position. So important to them, and then her role kind of changed into the postseason. So that's kind of really interesting as well. Riley Clark from Clay. Obviously, you've always had a Clark in that midfield for years and years and years. What is Coach Hess going to do next year? You're going to miss a Clark kind of buzzing around in the middle of the park. So many great players. Alyssa Stark as well from Notre Dame. So many great players really contributed. Those are some of the ones that stuck out in my mind.
I mean, obviously the same as Chris. I mean, Grace Tursk had a really good year. I also think Ellie Poole as well over at South, who had a really good year as well, and a really good high school career throughout as well. So lots of good players in there. You know, and I think there's lots of good choices in there, and with the goalkeepers as well as players as well, there's lots of good goalkeepers in there as well. So
we'll get to the goalkeepers in a moment, but right now we'll start with Danny, your girls soccer player of the year.
I'm going to go with Emily Gardner. I think she's come up big with not only goals, you know, as a centre back, she's come up with a couple of really big goals this year as well, especially towards the end of their run as well. But she's also at the back. She's led the team as well. She's won headers, she's won tackles, her distribution's been good. She's had a fantastic senior year, and she's going to go on next year and do some big things at the University of Findlay.
And for myself, I mean, you look at so many things that changed their year, but I think once it came to the postseason, in my mind, it immediately became Emily Gardner, because you saw what she did in the late rounds of the tournament with the goals off the corner kicks. I think it was 4 in a row at some point off the corner kicks, and so impressive to add that to the game. And really, that's such a team-oriented team at Anthony Wayne anyways, so could be a number of kids, but I think she kind of stood out. We saw what Hannah Rubicki did in that game too. Just throw one more in there at the tail end. She got the goal in the final as well. So great team atmosphere. Anyone was able to step up this year. Anthony Wayne, Emily Gardner really stuck out. And
Emily Gardner earning all-state honors for her play this season. Let's move to the girls' goalkeepers. We'll start with Danny.
Obviously, you got like the likes of Keaton and Anthony Wayne as well, who had a terrific year. You know, she made saves when she had to make saves. She made big saves. She came off her goals well, off her lines well. She distribution was really good as well. I thought sort of Mia Creech as well at Northview had a really good season as well. On top of that, Kennedy Slovak as well made 2 really big saves against NDA. The penalty save, and there was a save about 3 minutes just before half time where she made a really big crucial save as well. So those 3 have had really good years this year.
Yeah, and it's so difficult sometimes to know how much a goalkeeper means to your team. You know, good point. Keaton Grabarczyk didn't get tested as much at certain times, but obviously she ushered that team all the way to the final from Anthony Wayne. Lindsay Smith from St. Ursula had some phenomenal games, especially late in the season. Katie Wisniewski from Notre Dame. She's been in that spot for a long time. And keep giving depressing news to coaches. You know, Chip Smith, unlucky, your goalkeeper's leaving. Seems like she's been there forever. But yeah, so a lot in there. And of course, Kennedy Slovak, you know, the track goalkeeper of the year this year as well. The past couple of years, it seems like you know, she's another one you're going to be missing.
So the Clay Eagles goalkeeper, is that your keeper of the year?
Yep. Keaton, yeah, exactly. I think Keaton Grabarczyk did such a great job with her team, Anthony Wayne, but in the end, Kennedy Slovak for what she did during the season, all season long, and into the playoffs.
Kennedy, again for me. I thought she was great. I thought she had a really good year. And again, as I said a few minutes ago, the 2 saves she made against NDA, the penalty save and the one about 3 minutes before half-time, crucial for those guys.
Last award for the girls' side coach of the year, and certainly there is a strong candidate who took her team all the way to the state championship game, but Lori Williams isn't the only fine coaching performance this season.
Well, it's last year, I think it's changed to the Lori Williams Coach of the Year award, but I think that might not have been the correct thing to do, you know, politically. But obviously, her staff over there, her and Eric Vandermeulen, of course, they've got to be looked at by the top. And I'm cheating back to all my notes anyways here, but you look at really this area, a lot of teams did step up, but there's obviously people that did a lot of great things. But I'm pretty much at this point, I have to just say that Anthony Wayne coaching staff I'm sorry, I feel confident just saying we're just going to shove it that way a little bit, and they get to keep the trophy one more year from my side.
A lot of good, a lot of good coaching this year. You got Coach Smith at NDA. I thought Coach Hess at Clay did a great job this year. And what I really liked, he's very humble as well. Coach Hess was very humble with it. They won their first ever their trophy this year, which was fantastic for those guys to do that. And he was very humble. I was lucky enough to be at that game. And he just stood in the background, let the girls take all the credit for it. So that was really good. Ultimately, again, I'm going to go with what Chris has done as well. I think Laurie Williams and her staff have done a great job. They've lost one game all year. It was the last game of the season. They've done a great job. She's managed them well. And the girls have certainly stepped up this year, and they've certainly wanted to play for the coaching staff.